In 2001, Joe Narvez's daughter, Laura, approached him with the idea of joining the Air Force. Joe was surprised that she wanted to serve in the military, and initially he was skeptical. But Laura convinced him of the idea, and he became her biggest champion. Laura served in operational intelligence with the Special Operations Command. At times, she embedded with the Army to support intelligence collection in combat zones. During a deployment in 2006, the blast of an IED caused her to suffer a traumatic brain injury, which led to anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress. Her wounds also damaged the nerves that control everyday functions such as blood pressure, heart rate, bladder control, and digestion. Laura pushed through her injuries to remain on active duty, only to suffer a second tragedy. While stationed in South Korea, a fellow service member attacked and raped her. The compounded trauma was simply too much to bear. Laura medically retired and returned to the States, where her father was waiting for her. For 12 years, Joe has provided stability, comfort, and support to Laura, even as she found a husband and started a family. Together, they have pulled through dark times. Laura once suffered an emotional breakdown and entered a psychiatric program for 3 months after traumatic circumstances led to the death of her husband. Joe wasn't able to visit her during that time, and he was left to care for her infant son without her. He struggled to track her progress from the outside and was devastated by the thought that he might never see her again. To this day, Laura suffers bouts of illness from her brain injury. At least 3 or 4 times a year, Joe needs to admit her to the hospital, manage her care, and take in his grandson. Sometimes the incidents turn severe. In one acute attack, Laura temporarily lost her ability to see. In another, she lost her memory of the previous year. She has also developed seizures, which often keep her in bed for days at a time, unable to care for herself. Every time, Joe steps into help. Joe hasn't met many other male caregivers, father caregivers, or caregivers of sexual trauma survivors. He knows he is unique, but he remains undeterred. If you ever ask Joe how he is doing, he'll tell you simply, "I'm a bulldog and will always be by my daughter's side." Joe, you've stood by your veteran. America now stands with you.
Thank you to Hilary Swank, and thank you to Joe for allowing us to tell his story.